Well, welcome. This is our Monday and this is the Friday night hangout, but here we are once again. Let's finish this. I have no idea what we're going to talk about this evening. It's kind of an informal layout. Save and adjust this. Live, save. There we are. Okay, this thing playing. Yeah, it's going. So it appears to be. So we're just waiting for people to come in. I got no idea what's going on. I'm looking at the chat. We got 4 watchers. Steve came over today and worked on his airplane. He got quite a bit done. I mean, there's a lot of work to do. Let me see here. We need the zoomer. Knock this out. All right. I need a chat back though. Participants. Here we go. Right here. Pop the chat out. Pop out chat. There we are. And this go down. All right. If you're looking to come in, you got to be a member of Stunt Hangar. You go to place at the bench. The invitation and code will be listed there. We do this every Monday and Friday at 7 o'clock Central. This evening, I got no idea what we're going to talk about. Last night I started my perky. This is one half of the wing. And I'll take this here and glue on there and make wingtips. Matter of fact, we can do that while we're waiting. I guess I can do the whole wing tonight. So let's cut this tip up. Cut them both. Okay. At least I did something while I'm waiting on somebody. I don't know what else I can do. Let's see here. We need to, we can't zoom out. It's already zoomed out. I was going to sheet this wing, but I've decided against it. Hey, Roy. And it's in a bet. I'm not the king. Roy might be on later. Okay. I guess what I can do is put the bell crank in the wing. Need to, I guess, make a little 2-inch bell crank. I got no idea how these things work. Do they come apart this way? You guys know about that? Can you can you take them apart? Uh, I'm just a guy who builds toy airplanes. See, I got a piece of carbon fiber that I can cap this trailing edge with too. 1/8 inch.
Just dialed in, Sparky. What is it?
What is this?
Yeah, wing for what?
Perky.
Okay.
You know what a perky is?
Nope.
Look like this.
Okay. That's an old design.
Yeah, let's see. I think it was a 48 from 48. Let me see. I got the plans here somewhere. I'm building a little different. It says that I can do that in the rules. Here it is. Here they are. No.
Computer was trying to get me to reboot. I said, no, not now. Uh-huh.
This is the plan.
So you talking 049 size?
No, 15.
15.
Yeah, I'm gonna use, do you remember Rusty?
No.
Rusty hosted the show before Charles. If you look at the old shows, that was Rusty Knowlton.
Hmm.
He gave me a Cox Conquest 15 I'm going to put in it. And that is somewhere on the bench here. Here it is. Clean this crap up.
Oh, wow.
See? This Cox right
Rear,
up.
rear exhaust.
Yeah. Will it be a world beater? Probably not.
Is it a speed plane? Or is it
Yes,
supposed
it's
or
old time speed.
old time speed? Okay.
Okay, here's what we got. NASS Perky Old Time Speed Rules. And it's from 1946.
Wow.
This is a one design speed event. The model is a 1946 Matt Kenya design Murgo Perky. The rules are basic. Model must be built to the outline of the original 46 Murgo Perky design. Constructions modifications are allowed. Well, mine's going to be super high tech. Going to be carbon fiber. Model must be equipped with an 1.5 to 1.75 spinner. Model must be equipped with 2 wheels, 1.3 to 1.5. Only section fuel type system allowed, no pressure. The engine shall be a 15 glow or diesel or 0.19 cubic inch ignition engine. Glow engines are to use AMA 10% spec control line speed fuel, no restrictions for diesel or ignition engines. No tune pipes or megaphone exhaust extensions. Mini pipes and mufflers are okay. Maximum model weight shall be 23 ounces. Flying wires are 52.6 in length measured from the center line of the fuselage to the center of the control handle. Only a 2-wire control system allowed. Flying wire shall be 14 thousandths diameter solid steel music wire. The material should be AMA required ASTM spec. Full test of 25 Gs. Model will be timed for 1 mile, 16 laps from point of release. The pilot is not required to use an AMA speed pylon. Contestant may enter more than one model, but this would require an additional entry fee to be collected. For each model entered, the contestant will be given 4 attempts to make 3 complete official flights. All other safety rules of the AMA apply.
And that's from 46, the rules?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, the airplane is from 46.
Oh.
Carl Dodge had sent me this plan while I was in Dayton. And, I'm trying to keep this channel interesting.
Yeah.
And I built so many speed planes and not speed planes, stunt planes and profiles and stuff. I decided, well, I ran across this engine that I had. So in honor of Rusty, we'll build this perky. And I found the set of plans in a box of shit that I unpacked and decided, what the heck, we'll build it. And the idea behind this airplane is it's a 46, and according to the rules, I can build it any way I want. Isn't that what you read or you heard?
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard about this. And that, oh yeah, I believe you said that when you were reading it.
The first thing on there, the model must be built to the outline of the original 46 Migao Perky
Right.
design. Constructions, modifications are allowed.
Yeah.
Well, this thing has a built-up wing and a bunch of other stuff. I'm going to take and make a carbon fiber one. The whole airplane can be carbon fiber.
Oh,
So I had some foam around here, and I got my hot wire out, made a rib template, and cut this foam core out. I got X's on this. I'm going to cut this, make some type of fixture with my little table saw. Cut the grooves in there about a 16th of an inch deep at an egg crate section.
yeah.
Then I'm going to take toe and HTR 250. I'll take toe and slide it into these grooves, and then take half-ounce cloth and that carbon fiber stuff I used to make the tanks out of. That tank weighs 1 ounce, so I'll be able to build this wing for 2 ounces, ounce each side, about the same amount of material, and then vacuum bag the carbon over the top of it with
Yeah.
a monocoat skin on it, so it's a nice slick, you know.
Yep.
And then after the stuff's dry, I'll pour gasoline inside this and pour all the foam out of it. It'll be hollow. But the bigger thing for this is spit it out. It's an experiment for other things I want to do in stunt.
Right. Makes sense.
Because if this doesn't work, I can throw it out and I'm not out of anything.
Yeah. Not spending all the time. And understand.
But I got a feeling this is going to work really well. Really well.
So with the trailing edge not being straight, and you just had a root and a tip
Yeah.
template, and it did that.
No.
Gave you the.
No, I cut it out in a square. I put the root and tip template. This is the other side of the wing.
Right.
So, and I had never cut it's a semi-elliptical,
Right.
wing, and I didn't know how you would do it with foam. I made my rib template. Okay, this is the root. Let's see here. We want to do it. This is the root. It goes on this way. I had to think about this long and hard to figure it out. Yep, I got it on there. It's crooked. Yeah, it took quite a bit of thought to get this to be halfway decent.
So you cut that whole block at one time?
Yeah.
Without any tape, taper or anything?
No.
Other than the rib profile.
Yeah, we got the rib profile from.
Yeah.
I hope this is the root or the trailing edge or root. Okay, here's the end. What the profile looks like that.
You're right.
And here is the other one right here. Okay. Yeah, this is the tip rib.
Yep.
But do you see how long this lead
Yeah.
in is?
Right.
Because the wire has to stay straight.
Yeah.
So I made the lead in really long. And it worked kind of. I mean, it worked all right. I guess I could cut one while we're on here. I did it last night. I'm sure if one of the foam cutting guys was on here, they said would say I did it wrong, but I don't know.
Hey, it's what's the outcome? You got it.
So the trick
So,
is you hot wire this thing
yep.
and then you put it all back together, tape it up so it's all one foam block. Then to get that curved leading edge and trailing edge, you take it on the bandsaw and zip it off.
Yeah. So because of the lead in that you have on the tip helped you do that.
Right.
Yeah.
You couldn't put just the right size rib on the tip because then the wire would be a straight across the trailing edge.
Yeah.
There is one slight issue, and that's why I was sanding on it. It does make the trailing edge slightly different thickness, but just a little bit of sanding and it came right back to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Evening, Gary.
Hello.
Looking good.
Yeah. Good evening, y'all.
Good to see you, but it's better to be seen than viewed, right?
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a novice foam cutter. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just an experiment. See if we can't get it done. And the next thing is, and you guys will love this, is I'm going to take pink foam insulation. You know, it's harder than this stuff.
Yeah.
I'll sand and hollow, or sand and shape that into a fuselage. Then I'm
Yep.
going to cut 16th inch grooves in that foam and put the toe in there, and then fiberglass that fuselage, pour acetone inside that, and pour the foam out. And I'll have a carbon fiber fuselage with toe as ribs.
Yeah.
That's the experiment for this. Because after looking at the Yatsenkos, that's basically what they're doing. Only they're using balsa wood. If you ever get, you're going to be at Brodex, right?
Yeah.
You need to look at one of my tanks. See if I can find one here. It's right here.
I'll be missing 1 or 2 days at Brodex because I can't miss our 25th anniversary again. Got 25th wedding anniversary on the
This
11th.
this right here is 1 ounce, and it is as strong as steel,
Yeah.
and it's carbon fiber. So if I turn this into that, why wouldn't it work?
Yeah.
I see no reason why it won't.
Make a hell of a profile fuselage too.
And I haven't seen anybody. I mean, I've seen guys doing composites and stuff, but I haven't seen anybody doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
We had this hobby shop down off of Tesson Ferry called J&J Hobby. This is 25 years ago. Lou Voorhees owned it. And he had a great big, huge, looked like quarter scale fuselage side. And it was built just like a real airplane. It had bulkheads, stringers, and 16th inch wood. You try to twist that, impossible. It weighed nothing. It weighed zero. So
Yeah,
why can't I do that with fiberglass? Carbon.
sure. Tough stuff. Hmm.
Maybe I'll get a contract to build some perky wings, perky bodies.
Hmm.
Danny wants to autoclave this stuff. I don't know. There's Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Gary. Hi, Ed.
Evening, good evening.
Long time no see, Bob.
Yeah. Let's see. 4 hours ago.
Four hours.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.5 hours ago. There's Steve's project. Tell him about your airplane, Steve.
It's a Crossfire. Bob, I guess it was one of the last Bob Hunt foam wings that he sold. Wing and stabilizer elevator. It's electric, or it's going to be electric.
How many square?
You know, I don't know how big that is. Do you know, Bob?
680, I think.
680. So what's the anticipated weight then for 680 square foam wing?
Too much.
Too much. It's it's going to be pushing 70, right?
Yeah, we're gonna stop painting at 65.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close now.
Yeah. Going to have to just not go with much clear, and since it's electric, it won't, doesn't have to be fuel proof or anything. So
Today we weighed the airplane and then took all his stuff and put it in a box and weighed all that stuff. And
wheel spinner, electronic, battery, all that stuff.
it's heavy. Heavier than I like. But Steve's bigger than I am. He can hold on to it in the wind. I can watch him
Oh boy.
watch his ass pucker.
Even that that Blue Angel I got, that pulls in the wind. But I don't know, it still needs trimming because it gets light on the hourglass and the top of the vertical 8
Well,
on the outside part.
I'll tell you this. I don't think you'll get light on the overheads on this one.
Good. Well, the Spectre
He'll
doesn't.
help you stand up. He'll need it to help stand up.
Whoa.
That's what I would need.
If I remember right, we put 2 or 3 degrees of motor offset in it.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. When we do the motor, we got to put those triangle pieces in there. Are you still thinking I need those?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
Gonna add a little more weight.
they won't weigh shit. And they're in the right spot.
Yeah, true.
So do you ever, well, you probably have done enough to where you wouldn't need to build an airplane, but take it easy on the nose until you get to a point where you can start putting things in place and checking for balance. That way, if you had to do some adjustments, you could still easily do it.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever do that?
No, the trick to that is build it as light. Stop painting at a certain weight. Build it as light as possible, and it'll be nose heavy. The heavier you get, the more tail heavy it is. The more tail heavy, you got to add weight to the nose to balance it. So
Yeah.
pick a weight and stop painting.
So I got a few boo-boos to touch up. And I guess we're gonna do the clear. And I'll get the battery mount made. And Bob's gonna show me how to mount the electronics with rubber bands. I have not seen that.
The secret.
It's secret, yeah. Because everyone I've seen uses like Velcro.
Well,
Oh,
you
Velcro. Yeah.
could use Velcro, but what happens is that the Velcro, the thing gets so hot the glue melts on the Velcro tape, and then they fall off.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Well, do you have any of the Velcro that's stuck to it?
Not on well, I don't know. I'm trying to think what. Actually, there's no Velcro in the Spectre.
Yeah, I wonder why.
You built it.
That's right. Does the Spectre have overhead line tension?
Yes.
Motor offset.
Yeah. Yeah. I could try to add that to the Blue Angel, or just build another one. I got the kit.
There you go. Build another one. You'll find in life it's easier to build a new one than it is to modify, and you go through all that shit and then you got an airplane that looks hatcheted up. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
the only thing that saved my Viper profile is I only got one flight on it.
Yeah.
If I'd have had 10, 15 flights on it, it'd have been a new airplane. But I want to see if it works.
Yeah. It's not looking good this week at all.
Yeah, one of these days we'll get to go out there.
What part of the country you in, Ed?
West Virginia.
Oh, is it? Are you near any of the fires?
No,
Okay.
didn't know
So
of any.
I got some guys I know. One guy I know, he's a helicopter technician, but he works for the fire department. So he's helping, going out, keeping the
Hmm.
helicopters running. But he's
Yeah.
actually on the helicopter while they're doing their thing.
They
And
repair it in flight.
I don't know what he does in flight, but yeah, he's sent me a few pictures of the fires, from above.
In West
And he's
Virginia.
In
North
West Virginia?
Or are
North
you talking
Carolina.
South Carolina? South
Yeah,
Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That's quite a ways from you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just an hour south of Brodak.
Oh wow! Oh
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. It's the only advantage I have of
Yeah.
being here.
Cinnabet, no, I'm not. Thank you for the offer of cigar, but no, I don't need it. I'm trying to kick the habit, even though I'm puffing on this.
Yeah.
And then Wayne says like provided, and Jeff from NO Train says he needs to start putting his balsa wood plane together. That's right. You got to work all winter to have fun all summer.
Yeah.
I got six, no, eight airplanes in my stable this year, so I don't have to worry about crashing too much.
Yeah. But they need trimmed, or are they already trimmed?
My airplanes are pretty close to trim first flight, don't you think,
Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's from what I've been listening to, it kind of makes sense if you build things straight and take your time on alignment and that. Yeah, it should.
The biggest, in my opinion, the biggest thing to trimming is to have the controls as free as possible. Butter smooth.
Hmm.
And then, when I bench trim it, I'm setting the nose weight to, does it balance at its static CG?
Mm-hmm.
And then after you fly it, you go, well, it doesn't turn well enough. I got green gumbo, which is green clay. I start sticking it on. And let's say that I got to stick a big wad of clay on my airplane on the tail to get it to turn. Well, I'll stick that on there and finish flying. And then when I come home, I'll undo that and then
Yeah.
weigh it and see what it weighs, and then start painting more to get it
Oh,
to balance there. Yeah. Why
yeah.
have a solid chunk? Why not spread it out?
Yeah.
Am I the right guy to ask on trim? I don't know because I've never won the Nats. I don't practice enough.
Yeah.
But I know what I like, how it works.
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to have possible Saturday and Sunday halfway decent.
Yep.
Saturday a little bit windy, and Sunday possibly not as much.
Terry Mitchell says, like scent, what prop would you recommend for a OS 40 FSR? Probably 11.5, 11.4, somewhere in there. Now, here comes Stuart.
Cracks me up years ago in the 60s, flying RC and having a Enya 60 or a Super Tiger 60, your big prop was 12-inch.
Hmm.
And now we're talking 11-inch for a 40.
I looked at, I got a whole box of rev up props, 180 props, a couple hundred props, whatever. And they sent a prop recommendation sheet in the box. Well, shit, they don't even recommend a 13-inch propeller for a 60. And I've always run 13.6. They're recommending 12.6, 12.5. That ain't enough prop. On my PA-75, I ran a 15.45. Big bomber.
Evening, guys. Stuart, John.
Stuart, John.
Yeah, all good.
Good.
Staying vertical.
That's better than looking at worms. Do you think that we underestimated the power that a lot of those 60s had? Sparky, do you think that might be part of the problem?
Probably. I've always run a 13-inch prop on a 60, though. Always. Did I run 11.45 on my OS 32F?
That's a big prop for a 32.
Yeah, but it'll spin it up and it'll run away with it. You put a 10-inch prop on, it'll be 10 million RPM.
Well, do you think though, because control line where we are flying lighter aircraft versus RC, heavier?
It seems like
Think
that'd
about
make a
this.
difference.
Think about this. If this airplane was heavier, why would I want to put less diameter prop on it?
Yeah.
I'd want to put a bigger propeller on it if it got heavy. So it's got some torque, some grunt.
Well, but then you have a chance of overheating pretty good. Getting too hot.
They only run 6 minutes. It ain't gonna hurt.
Right. I know it sure is weird building control line again, and you pick up a wing and it's like, holy smokes, man, this thing's light. No servos in it, no landing gear in it.
You use
Or retracts, I mean.
You use wood that was less than 15 pound.
I was lucky to find some wood that didn't know where it was at, and the stuff's pretty light compared to the newer stuff that I have.
Let's hear what they got. Let's hear what they got to say. Hello. Hello. Oh well, the house is not for sale. Goodbye.
They didn't even want to talk to you, huh?
No.
I got a question. Um,
Hey, Stuart's got showing off something there.
these hooks, I got these from Len, but he says they're not available anymore. I don't know if you could see them.
Oh, the J hooks,
Yeah.
J hooks.
Anybody that sells them?
Yeah, you go right to your closet and you take out a wire coat hanger and you bend
Yeah.
it.
And make it. Yeah.
Well, I know, but they got threads on them, which is a little nicer. But I don't know. Are they
Nobody's
totally
make,
available, or does anybody know of any place you can get them?
as far as I know, nobody's making them anymore.
They were
Oh.
perfect.
What's that?
Perfect
They were made
brand.
by Perfect.
Oh yeah, okay, yep. Okay. Actually, I might end up just using some push rod. And I got some double-ended ones, a lot of them. I'll probably never use them all.
Why don't you do it like this, my profile here? Because now I got one problem with the profile here because I don't have enough room for as big a tank as it's got. Let's see if I can show this. I don't want to bang it up. This black piece right here is on a slider. It's got a screw on this side and a screw on this side, and the whole tank slides up and down. And it's held on with 2 zip ties. You know what kind of easy. Yeah. I'm gonna bang this thing up before I get it out to the field again. Because with those hooks, you gotta drill them where you think the tank's going to be, and you're kind of set when you rubber band it on. You have space to move it up and down.
No, not really.
So
Like
You
that's
could,
something
you-
that I don't know a lot about, but the up and down movement, is that mainly for if
the
you're-
engine runs the same inverted and upright.
right? Okay. So if it's a LA-46 and it's got tank pressure, does it really matter?
Yes.
So if that's true, what makes it change? Like if you got a constant pressure on the tank,
The uniflow.
The level, the area, the height of the pickup above the spray bar creates a head, a pressure head, and if it's not correct, your engine will run faster upright or slower depending on which way it needs to move.
I got to disagree with you, John. It's not the pickup. It's the uniflow.
Well, I'm not talking about a uniflow tank on this. I'm just talking about a standard vented tank. You're absolutely right on the uniflow.
He's got a uniflow tank with
I
pressure.
know, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I was talking about a standard vented tank. But yeah, in that case, a uniflow, it's based on where the uniflow is. And you got to be able to raise it up and down. You got to be able to raise the tank up and down or raise the uniflow up and down to adjust it. Because
so I'm using a Brodax tank, right?
yeah,
Or not Brodac, Dubro, sorry. A Dubro tank, okay.
you
So
use
your
a plastic
pickup lines,
RC tank.
yeah, it's the pickup line's in the middle. So if it's flipped upside down or right side up, It would be it would be the same, right?
right?
So
But believe me, Stuart, the way, I don't know what you used the drawing that I did about how to set up that Dubro as a uniflow, but you haven't been able to raise that uniflow up and down, to rotate it.
if you back actually the pickup line right out of the tank, if you line it up with your carb needle, then it should be okay, right?
It
Or am
don't
I
work that
wrong?
way. It should work that way, but it doesn't.
Okay, well that's what I was
Okay,
wondering.
on a clunk tank, how I plumb them is that I tie the uniflow tube and the pickup together. I don't have one handy here.
I think I've seen that in a
I,
diagram.
I disagree with you on that though, Sparky, because when you tie them together, as the uniflow, as the plunk is bounced up and down, your relationship, your height to your in the fuel level is
It
changing.
it stays right even with the centrifugal force. I've done it this way for 40 years and it works perfect. And if you want to change, let's say you got the tank mounted in the center because you want everything in line with the spray bar, but you have no room to move it, you can just undo the stopper and twist the stopper to move the uniflow up or down.
Well,
And
not
then
when it's tied together, because it's going to move your pickup up and down too.
it twists them like that.
Well, it works for you, and I know other people do it, and it works. And the way I do it works. And so I
I
just
didn't I didn't say it was
yeah
the only way. I just said it's the way I do it, and it's worked for 40
yeah
years.
yeah. I prefer to be able to just adjust that by twisting that uniflow line one way or another. I can effectively raise or lower the tank. I
I
don't have
always
to move it.
You can
get
do
mixed
that,
up,
and
right,
if you
Ron,
get
with
real slick, you can drill a hole in a 1/4 inch nut, 1/8 inch hole, put the uniflow into that stopper with a solder a nut on the end of it, and you have a slight bend on that tube, and you get a wrench in there, and you turn that tube without even undoing the stopper, and it'll move the tube up or down.
Yep, exactly.
But it is important to be able to move the tank so that the airplane has the same lap speed upright and inverted.
Well, seeing that you don't have to move the tank if you move the uniflow.
Yeah, I agree.
is it, sorry, I get mixed up with this. The uniflow, is that the actual fuel line going to the engine?
No, that is the
No,
line that's coming off the muffler.
Oh, okay.
You're running pressure, right?
Yeah.
It comes off the muffler and goes into the uniflow tube that goes back to the back of the tank, and that puts pressure on the tank.
the other line you got in there is your overflow. Some people make the mistake and run the pressure on the uniflow to the overflow, and that
That
doesn't
don't
work
work.
very well.
That didn't work at all.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that the pressure line is running to the uniflow.
Yeah, I've always
And
been setting them up like RC
yeah,
plant.
and then the overflow is blocked off. Yeah.
So okay.
All I run is pressure. Randy Smith used to say, "Well, you gotta take that pressure off and run atmospheric pressure." Yeah, but when you turn the nose up, the engine, I mean, if you like the old 242 stuff, the engine goes crazy. If you listen to my engine run, it just stays at, don't matter where you point it, it just runs at equal RPM.
And one of the main reasons I run pressure is because when you run an atmospheric, unless you bury the air intake line on the tank inside the fuselage or somewhere where it's not getting the ram air induction out of it. You ever see them where they'll go? It's a slight windy day, and you go and you slow down going into the wind, and you speed up going with it behind you, and that's because you're getting more ram air going into the wind than you are going out of the wind. So your engine's speeding up and slowing down as you're going around you put muffler pressure on it. It's not a whole lot of pressure. You put muffler pressure on it though, and that isolates it from the outside wind, and it runs like you say, all the way around.
Well, I find that, and I'm not an expert at this, but I think I get that when I fly the LA 46, and it seems to be very constant.
That's good.
So
One of the things, there's a lot of things I think in the hobby of flying stunt. When you finally get there, it makes the next batch of stuff you're working on a whole lot easier. And one of them is having an engine run that you can absolutely rely on, and is dead nuts reliable and doesn't do anything weird or strange. Once
yeah,
you
I
get,
found that, or at least over the last year, I've been using a tack,
mhm.
and I've been tacking them at 8,800, and I find that almost is perfect for what I need. So
Yeah, there's people who've done it along like Sparky here. He doesn't use a tack. He knows what it sounds like.
yeah, my ears aren't that good.
How many times you see me use the tach, Steve?
What's that?
How many times you see me use a tachometer? Zero.
Zero.
The airplane's got to
They're-
be burbling between a 4-stroke and a 2-stroke. It's going just when you let it go, and then when you let it go, it'll back up and unload, and just 4-stroke all the way along.
Yeah,
These are all things, but you know the other thing is learning how to build the plane and align it on the bench and get it build it clean and straight. And you know once you learn how to do that and you can do that consistently, that takes care of a whole lot of the problems you have. These are moments in the along the road that you run into. You know, learning how to not be afraid of the ground. You know,
That's
things
hard.
yeah. But these are things
That's
that
real hard.
these are things that when you reach it, you know, it just makes the rest of it easier.
well, that's what I'm finding actually. You know, as I go, in the last year I've done pretty decent with. I only had one crash, and that was an engine failure. So
Outstanding.
like it's come along pretty good, and but now I got to work on my shapes. They're pretty bad yet. So we'll see how it goes this summer. That's what I'm going to work on.
Yeah. And I found out one of the breakthroughs for me was when I found out how to do nice smooth inside and outside loops that were the same size. You know how to get everything set up so that I just I just hold it would fly around it. I didn't have to fight it to keep it there, you know.
Well,
That
that
made things so much easier throughout the pattern because you got more round maneuvers than you got square maneuvers.
yeah. Hey, Brad gave me a vector, and I was like, wow, this thing's flying really good. But that's the one I had the carb problem. I had to replace it because it wasn't running right.
Mhm.
That's when we were talking about just a little while ago where I had to get the new Venturi and how to fit it because I didn't know. But yeah, they're gonna be. It'll be interesting to fly it now this summer when it's running properly.
Yeah,
So couldn't figure out what was going on, and then there was some leakage around the gasket and just didn't run right. It was so
I when I got to the point like with IC, I I was buying. I bought very few new stunt motors. I bought most of mine from swap meets and stuff like that. I can't tell you how many were so messed up. It's something. But once I finally got to where I was getting good runs, oh, well, I tell you that you're not fighting that all the time. It really helped a lot in the pattern.
You're a prime candidate for electric.
Oh, I am. To be honest with you, I'll always keep some IC because I like the sound and I like playing with some of the engines, not all of them. Some of them just drive me up a wall. But electric is nice. It takes one of the things you got to worry about out of the equation.
I want to say this quietly because I don't want Sparky to hear, but I think my next plane is going to be electric.
Knock yourself out.
I gotta give it a try because I'm interested in the way like when you're doing a square that the constant speed of the prop and that just stays the same. So
Well, from what I've been reading on
or
it,
it goes up and down, I guess, but it's like it.
from what I've been reading on it, with the various adjustments you have in there, you can make it run just about any way you want. Or you go up, it goes uphill. You can program it in so it gives it a little kick, so that not only just keeping it constant, but it'll give it a little kick so that you get a cleaner
Yeah.
climb. You make the turn, it shuts that off. You go down like in a square, you're going down to the ground. It now puts the brakes on for you. It's,
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in. That's why eventually that's why I want the next one.
oh, a good 424 stunt run on a good stunt engine will do that too. If you hit it right, that you'll hear it. It'll go coming downhill. You'll hear it backing off. But yeah, that's getting. They aren't making too many engines that'll do that so easily as some of them would. I don't think.
Well, I stuck with the LAs because I thought I'm going to try and stick with one, then I'll have parts that I can interchange, and I'm not going to have a bunch of trying to have. I'm getting too old to have 20 different types of engines.
I'm one of those that when I started out, I was poor and I had one engine, and I had the three models, and I had to take it off and put it on the other one. And when I started getting to where I had a little more cash than that, one of the first things I bought was engines, and I got drawers full of them.
Hmm.
That I'll never use. I'm thinking about. I may have to start thinking about getting them out in the hobby for somebody that wants them or will use them.
You got a
But
46 VF?
I do.
How much you want for it?
I don't know yet. I haven't. I don't know what they're going for now.
Too much?
Somewhere I've got the. It's brand new. I've got that, and I've got the header somewhere, and I got the pipe for it. But I haven't seen the header and the pipe since I moved here.
Don't
So
matter. Don't matter. The PA header will fit right on it.
yeah. I don't know, what are they going for now these days?
Too much. Every engine on eBay was ridiculous. 300-400 bucks for junkers. One guy wanted 250 for an LA 46.
Oh, wow.
Man.
Yeah, I saw
Well,
that.
this 46 VF is brand new in the box. Never been run.
I was
Send me a
lucky.
PM on Stunt Hangar. I'll buy it from you.
All right.
I was lucky. I picked up, a few years back. I was looking for engines and I picked up like 3 or 4 LAs for about $60 delivered Canadian.
Oh,
Good
wow.
grief.
All
Probably
in
the
all,
prices have gone up, but that was just a few years ago.
all in all, Stuart, for the time we're in, I personally feel that for the average Joe, that OS 46 LA is probably the best stunt
Sport
engine
engine
of
out
its
there.
generation, of its time.
Yeah.
You fly a big model with it, you can fly a little model with it, and it always has manners.
Yep. Yeah. It's a super tiger of its generation, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's the best sport motor out there right now. It has been for several years.
Well, then they quit making them, so they're like everything else.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect
Yeah,
example. Vintage Merco. Now think about what I just said there. Merco
Merco.
35 motor, $179.
We used to
Good
get
grief.
those for $30.
Yeah, I'll give you.
Yeah.
I gave away a bunch to they're just I gave away.
Well,
You better buy now.
My clue is when you see the word vintage ahead of anything.
Yeah.
Look away.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
adds another digit to the price.
well, and the
Yeah.
thing is, I mean, I could add vintage to me. Am I worth it?
Yeah.
Well, we would say yes.
Yeah,
Would
right.
say yes, but good gracious, I'm telling you, that's bad. It's honest, but it's bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
so speaking about being old like the rest of us, how are you doing, John? Feeling all right?
I'm feeling pretty darn good, all total. Um,
Good deal.
I'm still got that dang whatever it was I caught Christmas time hanging on, and a lot of people complain about the same thing. Just keep the cough, keeps hanging
Yeah.
on. I'm sure others here have had it. What I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah. About 3 weeks.
about. I'm about 3 months now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I remember it was tough. I got a piece of lettuce stuck in my teeth, about drive me crazy.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
gotta chew those. You gotta chew those hamburgers sideways.
Here we
Yeah.
go. Here we go. Here's a Fox 35, $142 and
Jeez.
$29 shipping.
Oh man.
Better buy now before somebody else does.
Yeah, that's a $50 engine, if that.
If that. I gave a
Hard to
whole
say. I'll
bunch of
sell
them
him two for
away.
that.
I gave a whole bunch of them away just a couple of years ago.
Here's a 29 for $179. Vintage 1955 Fox 29.
Vintage.
Oh,
There you go. There's that word.
Yeah, word. Yeah.
Here's a vintage 1959 OS 35 control line airplane. Got two bids. It's at $26 now, but you watch, it'll be $226.
Well, is that an OS 35S or is that just the earlier Mark 3?
Yeah, Mark III.
Yeah.
That's
Mark
another
III's one's got the funky
$25.
looking Venturi. Mm.
These people think they got gold here.
Well, for some of them, is born before their grandpa was born. So that's why it's vintage. See.
It's
Yeah.
a sentimental value they
Yeah,
got.
I need to get busy and put a whole bunch of motors on eBay. I
Make
got
sure
a
you
bunch of
add
them down.
vintage.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You
Yeah.
got to add the word vintage to it.
I had to get them. I had to get them on there because I'll never use them.
Yeah.
My
I know
my
what you
daughter
mean.
would just take a shovel and in the dumpster with them.
Yeah.
Here's antique model airplane engine.
There you go.
I have some of those too, sparklers.
Actually, this is not a bad deal. One of them is an ignition engine. It's got two of them for $65. One
That
of
is
them,
a
That
good
sounds
deal.
like it's more reasonable. What
one of them,
brand are they?
let's see, one's a torpedo, and the other,
Ooh, torpedoes.
A greenhead?
it's a sparker. Let's see here. Let me see what it says in the description. We got three used antique model engines with two extra propellers. Engines don't spin and do not know if they run. Well, if it don't spin, it ain't running.
Um,
Two
They're
propellers,
all
8 to 12 inch.
full of dried, hard castor oil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Take 2 minutes to get it opened up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say what motors they are. One of them looks like a, oh,
Well, I have a collection because my first engine was a McCoy Redhead. So I have a collection from half A on up to the 40. I couldn't find a good 60 yet. And I
I
probably,
had one and let a guy. It got stolen. And
here's
yeah,
a vintage Torpedo 29 for $78. That's a $5 engine because it looks narfed.
yeah.
yeah. Well, they had a McCoy Redhead on there last week. The head was so burnt You couldn't tell what color it was. The whole head from the head fins up was brown.
That
Well,
one
that
engine,
just happens with running stunt runs, you know?
that one engine's an Atwood, so it's an Atwood.
Yeah, that would heavy beast.
That's tip weight.
Yeah,
The other one is a greenhead torpedo, and that's the Atwood. Let's see. And the other one is a little Wenmac 049.
that is tip weight.
Yeah.
Those things didn't
This-
run when they were new.
This
I
torpedo
used
is
to,
only
well,
a
wait a minute, I
32.
learned how to fly on an airplane with an Atwood.
This
Oh,
torpedo
an
is only a
Atlas, yeah, but
32.
not a WinMac.
The
Well, I
tor-
said not a Win, I said, not Atwood.
Hello?
A Winmac, it was a Winmac, ready to fly, aluminum delta wing.
The torpedo is only a 32.
Only a 32?
Yeah.
Well, that's typical, because when I was like 18, 19, that's what it was. You had a torpedo 32, that was the hot one. And then they came out with the 35.
Well, I tell you what,
That was our combat motor back when I was a kid.
I come up to OS 35S was king, and a Super Tiger C35 flat top was the combat motor. They
Yeah.
run them on pressure. You didn't even have to put a Venturi in that darn thing. Just spraying fuel in there so fast you didn't even have to have a Venturi. I don't think Huff, not Huff. I can't remember his name, but anyway, he sold me one. He said, "You don't need it. It's got a needle valve in it. It didn't have a vent." He said, "You don't need it if you're gonna run it on pressure." I said, "I'm gonna put it on a stunner. I'm not gonna run pressure."
Remember the Johnsons?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Johnson 29. I have a couple of them.
Terry Mitchell says he has an unmolested Giske Nobler kit. Is that the Top Fight blue box? What's it worth to a good home? Got no idea.
Let's see, I sold mine for $25.
Put it
I
on
have-
eBay.
Yeah, I have a pair of them downstairs, but I don't
It's
know what
actually a
they're
nice
worth.
kit.
It is a good kit. That's why I have two of them.
Yeah. Build you a pretty decent stunt plane out of that.
Yeah. Just throw the top deck away and build one, but that thing never looks right.
Oh, you were talking about the tank adjusters, Stuart. That's what they look like right there. This is the slot, and that's a slot. Your tank rubber bands to this, and you put a screw in that and just slide this up and down on the side of your
That big, I can't see it.
Well, they have a brass things you can solder onto the end of the tank that have that slot in it too.
Yeah, I don't monkey with that.
Hard to
He's got
solder
a
on plastic.
hard to solder on plastic.
Yes, it is.
Okay, these two this slot and this right here is an 1/8-inch slot, and this piece of wood is cut out this size. You rubber band your tank to this piece of wood. You can make it a little nicer than this, like I did on that one, and then or zip tie it, and then you just unscrew that and unscrew that screw, and you slide this up and down the side of your fuselage.
Yeah, I was gonna say zip ties work better. Rubber bands always go away at the wrong instant.
Oh,
Well,
do
the fuel gets them.
Yeah.
Good ones. I've got
they?
those
I think one.
black ones on mine, and they don't I can get almost a season out of them.
Rubber
Rubber
band.
bands?
Yeah, I think I've talked to you guys. Maybe you guys didn't all see that. They're black. I finally
Black
I
rubber
was looking
bands.
and looking because I hated the bands because they were always just one or 2 days and they're shot, right?
Yeah.
But so I went to these black ones. If you want, I can go get the bag to show you.
Yeah. Bicycle
I've
energy.
never seen black rubber bands. That'd be different, but no, I use those tie wraps and tie them down, and then they last till you just take them loose. Whew. That's a good idea. If you found a rubber band that'll hold, that's pretty slick.
Yeah, they've been pretty good overall. I'll grab you the
Oh,
bag.
CTS.
Somebody's watching. I can look at it.
Yeah,
That's one of the CTSs.
I should have had you help me, Steve, today start that engine out on in the front yard.
What'd you start?
Nothing.
Oh,
but the
You try to
46,
start.
Yeah, my 46. I'll do it tomorrow.
which one? The Tiger?
Yeah, it's a Tiger 46 with a Gardner liner.
That shouldn't be any trouble at all to start.
No, I got electric finger too.
Yeah, it won't be any trouble to start.
You
You got to flip that more than twice. You're doing something wrong.
did you know, Steve, they emptied the trash, right?
yeah,
And 30 minutes later that can was full.
yeah,
Oh, you were here, that's right.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
we went out there with your bag of trash and it was it was already full. What's Stuart got? He's got the black rubber band.
Black rubber bands, huh? Look at that. Platinum rubber.
Is that a Canadian place?
I thought I got them off of Amazon, I think. So I think that's where they came from.
Well,
What are
entirely
they called
possible.
again?
Platinum rubber.
Platinum rubber.
Platinum rubber.
Yeah, you get
Oh, I
you
ain't even gonna.
There's a
get an
model.
old bicycle inner tube and a good slicer.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they got all kinds of them. Whole
one of
bunch
those.
different
We was talking
sizes.
about.
Make sure
Who's
you
talking
buy
about-
through my link, Steve.
Well, I ain't buying any. I'm just looking. I
One
am
of the
through your
guys that-
link, by the way.
One of the guys that flies those free flight planes, he says he uses. There's one brand of inner tube, fat tire bicycle inner tube that he buys
Mhm.
and uses that to get his rubber. He says you can't get good rubber anymore. So I joined a local free flight club.
I thought you were going to say
And
bicycle club.
It's a regional, and they told me no, you can still get it. You ask for this year of rubber, and I've ordered a box. So whether I get it or not, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, good
But
luck.
once I get the rubber, I got to get a slicer to slice it.
I figure you're going right direct to the bicycle shop.
Good,
Oh
good
man, if I want to go to a bicycle shop, I just got to go to the basement. I raced the darn things for years. There's several downstairs. I've got a hard tail, a soft tail, and 3 road bikes. Whew. Too much. Too much. Oh. It was better physical entertainment than racing RC cars or something like that. So I thought I'd do that. I wanted to keep my heart strong. It worked for a while. Oh. Lordy, Lordy. Oh.
Oh, now you got me going. Oh,
Oh yeah. I don't know who got me started, but I saw somebody else do it. Now I'm going at it. Doggone it.
I
Man.
believe there's 25 ounces of battery and engine and shit in your airplane, Steve. It's a lot of
Well,
weight.
batteries are heavy, even with the
Using 4-cell or 5-cell?
5.
Yeah, I wanted to go 6 in mine, but it's the crossfire is too darn heavy with a 6-cell.
Mm.
Put a 3515 up front, then put a 6-cell in it. You better be able to slide it back all the way to the wing, otherwise it's going to be too daggum heavy.
You know, we made sure that Steve's airplane was built to the plans. And everybody says put a 32 or a 35 millimeter motor in the nose.
Right.
28 will fit.
There's no way that a 28 will barely fit. And it's
Yeah, I
right
don't know.
to the plan.
I got a
what plane
35
is
in
it,
mine,
Steve?
but I don't know.
The crossfire.
Oh,
Hey, guys, I've got to go. Good talking, seeing everybody. Y'all
good to
be
see
safe.
you, Ed.
Yeah.
Good
All
to
right.
see you, Ed. Come back again,
Yeah.
what, Monday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
When we
I'll
can aggravate you a little
cer-
while.
certainly try. All right, man.
Okay.
Take care of
Yeah.
Take
yourself.
care, Ed.
Cheers.
Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Phil, get anything painted?
No, mask, but not painted. I got I been kind of busy the last couple of days. I'm supposed to go with group fishing in the morning up in Virginia, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go or not. I just got my truck back from the shop, and I swan it's acting worse now than it did before I put it in the shop. I don't know, popping and crackling and sound like something's coming up through the hood. Sound like I'm gonna see a piston go that way any minute. I don't know what's going on. I think it's got water in the tank, but they tell me no. It's new plugs, new wires, 2 new coil packs, and it's still doing exactly what it was doing before. So I don't know.
Time
What's
to
it
trade it.
doing?
Read a
Trade
bunch
it
of
in.
money.
Get rid of it. Trade it in.
No,
What's it doing, Phil?
you be going down the road and pop, 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 pop. Just sounds like it's just barking at you. I think it's water and the gas. I don't
No.
know.
I doubt that. Water in the gas feels like when you're driving down the road, it'll just completely lose power because there's no fuel getting in. You're like you want to
Yeah.
push the pedal to the floor, boo, it'll just lose power. It's more than likely electrical problem.
Whatever it is, they didn't find it. They spent almost $400 and still didn't find it.
The guy didn't
Hmm.
have a snap-on
He's got all
BDO.
that crap. He's got all
Well,
that crap.
But tell him to plug it in and take it for a drive till it happens.
Yeah. That's what he's supposed to have done. They ran a quarter tank of gas out of it.
And OBD, if he's holding the computer in his hand, he'll tell you where the problem is.
Well, I know. I have a little small one myself that you plug in and look at, and I could tell him as much as what he told me. Said the
What are the
problems.
codes?
I don't remember what they are, but it was an intermittent miss on 2 and 3. So they changed all the plugs, they changed the wires, they changed the coil on 2 and 3, and it's still doing exactly the same thing.
Well, could be in the computer then. I mean,
Hmm.
That could be. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got almost 300,000 on it, so
Yeah.
it's an 02 and it's been a darn good one. So don't know. But I got 5 or 6 friends that have anywhere from 2-year-old trucks to brand new trucks,
Let's see
and they
if you
spend a whole lot more time in the shop than mine does.
buy one made in the USA now, according to the latest revelation, is that you can now take all that interest and deduct it from your taxes.
Well, one thing you can be sure of: if I buy it, it will be made in the U.S.
Well,
but
that's what
you buy
The
a
only thing
Hyundai,
I
that's
would
made in
buy-
the USA.
Do what?
You buy a Hyundai, that's now made in the USA.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
buy a Hyundai on a bet. I delivered parts for 3 years for Modern Chevrolet, we delivered parts for Hyundai. And you call and order a part from Hyundai and say, I need this part. They look in the computer to say, yeah, we got one in the system. Good, send it to me. It was 2 weeks before they got that piece. It was in California. And the part was he had taken the front end apart and a bolt had broken because the way they put that whole car goes together so wonky. The engine.
Go to the hardware store and get the bolt. That's what I'd have done.
Well, it was a weird eccentric bolt that's what set that's how you set the toe in. I think it was on the front end. It looked like a cam lobe, and you set that and then you tightened it down and it had cracked or something. I don't know what it happened, but anyway, they had to have a new one. Took 2 weeks to get it. This whole time that car is on the guy's lift. He can't take it off because if he takes it off, the front end
Yeah.
goes. So
Tied him up for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Wow.
I said then, no Hyundais for me. And then I saw a guy rebuilding the motor, and the motor is picture a block, and in 4 cylinders. Here's a rod coming out of the bottom of this cylinder. You lay it down in that thing and lay this one down to get it just right, and it does key in. It's notched at the bottom, so it keys in, and you get them all 4 in, and then you put the head gasket on, which seals the block to the head as well as the cylinders to the head. And then the head comes down, and that whole thing in there is the water jacket.
Pretty typical construction. Now the sleeves come out of them so you can re-sleeve them.
Yeah, it's crap. I mean, they are junk. Absolute junk.
My engine in my car is an aluminum block engine designed by Porsche.
With steel sleeves, yeah.
It's
Your motor will run from now on if you just keep the oil changed in and don't let it get hot.
I change it every 3,000 miles, whether it needs it or not.
It should be
Yep.
fine. That car will last a long time. It's a good car. That's what was wrong. That's what killed that car. The
Yeah.
dang things didn't break.
Or rust, because there's not much to rust, except I do
Well,
have
ain't much-
I do have some rust on my belly pan underneath the driver's seat, or the
yeah, but the size where everybody thinks about rusting is plastic. It can't rust,
right,
but don't let it get hit because it'll break.
the paint comes off of them.
Yeah, well, that's
You don't have
probably-
enough Flexol in the paint, and it's terrible. And then I got some hail damage in the hood, which the hood is steel.
metal.
Hood
Yeah.
for steel, and the hatch, but the
Well,
quarters,
they had to do something to
the
keep it
door
safe.
skins, and the fenders are all plastic.
Yeah, but look in the door. When you take the door skin off, you got big bars in there. Got 2 bars in each door to protect you. It's got like a roll cage in that darn thing. They built that car to last. Those were good cars. I had a girl that lived with us for a while, had one, and that thing just didn't give any trouble. I put a
You know what
battery
was
in one
built?
time.
You know what car was really built to last?
What's that?
The old Hudson Hornet.
Volkswagen.
Packards.
Studebakers.
Yeah, been to.
Well, Studebaker Packard. Yeah, they were great cars. My daddy was a Packard man. He loved them. In World War II, he was on a B-17, but when he wasn't fooling with the radio equipment, the B-17, or going out on missions in B-17, he was over at the garage working on Packard motors because he was a Packard specialist.
Yeah.
He came home. We had a 39 Packard. Boy, I wish we still had that thing. It got stolen. And we had a 55 Packard. I hit the dashboard of the 55, dented the dashboard with my nose, and then busted the windshield. And I'm telling you, it didn't phase that Packard. That thing just kept going.
21
That was
people
a
watching, expecting
great
model
car.
airplane content.
Expecting model airplane content. Okay. We'll
That's
talk
right.
to airplanes then.
Hey, Phil.
Is anybody
Phil?
building anything? Yeah. There you go. There you go. Big John's model airplane. John, what are you building now? Anything?
I haven't done a damn thing on nothing for a couple of months. I was gonna get in there and clean out my shop. Nah, I still haven't got it cleaned out.
I know
I'm waiting to spread out. I don't have enough room in my shop. It's just too damn little. And
I want to get mine as nice as Sparky's.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, right. I'm looking.
looks like
He's got
he's got
twice
3
the
inches.
room I got. I tell you.
He looks like he's got 3 inches to work in. I don't even have that right now.
Yeah,
But no, when I do get to it, I'll be finishing up the little alley,
Yeah.
and then I'll be starting most likely the Trailblazer.
Well, I Trailblazer is about a third cut, and I have misplaced the plans. The entire set of plans is rolled up
You're
here
kidding.
somewhere.
They got to be there somewhere.
Oh, they're somewhere. Unless one of the guys that came over here showing me plans or something rolled them up inside theirs to borrow them to make copies. But I mean, I've still got them on the phone. I can go get another copy made.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just aggravating when you go get in the mood to go cut some parts and you can't find any of the templates. I mean, you know,
Which one are you gonna build, the IC or the electric
oh, it'll
version?
definitely be the electric.
Yeah, I
Definitely
did
be the
send you the
electric.
plans for that, I believe.
I think you did, yeah. Well, I know you did because I've got the electric front end. Hey, Joe just joined us.
Hey,
Hey,
Good
Joe.
what's
afternoon,
going on,
Mr.
guys?
Gilbert, sir.
I
Joe.
flew model airplanes 4 days out of the last 5. And you boy, well, Lynn's the only one beat me, I bet.
Well, I've flown 5 out of the last 5. If you
Have
want to
you
count,
really?
if you want to count, I had to qualify this. If you want to count my little glider that I throw off the front porch, trying to get it all the way to the
It's
street.
gotta have strings on it.
Oh, I didn't find.
I haven't flown it all then.
No, I flew 2 days control line and 2 days indoor rubber. I had
There
some
you
2-minute flights indoors. Does that count? I think that should count.
Yeah,
I was
I think
hoping.
2-minute flights, yeah, indoors, yeah. Well,
That
if
ought to
it-
count. I was hoping that we were going to go fly tomorrow, but I got a call a while ago. And we're meeting at Omega House at 11:30 to eat lunch. So I don't guess we're going flying tomorrow. Somebody must know something about the wind that I don't know.
Chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me. Don't tell me twice.
biscuits and gravy. With a
Biscuits
That
and
sounds
dash
good
of-
too.
With a
That
dash
sounds
of,
good too. I mean,
hot
serious
pepper.
guys. Do I look like I miss many meals? Come on.
Well,
Sheesh.
now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Perfect
I
flying
don't think
weather
any
for
of us
Joe
have
here.
missed a meal.
Perfect flying weather for Joe here tomorrow. 10 to 15 with 29-mile-an-hour gusts.
Hey, that's a lot, dude. That's a lot.
No rain though.
That's where Joe's comfortable.
No,
I saw him at the-
29. 29.
I saw
is
you
not
fly
good.
blue at the Nationals when it was blowing so dadgum hard. Somebody's hat took off across the field.
It was
I don't
blowing
think
that
it
day.
touched the ground till the other side of the asphalt.
It was blowing that day. There ain't no doubt
Here's a-
about that.
You ain't
Here's a
kidding.
better
It was
day
blowing.
for you, Joe. That's going to be Wednesday, 7 to 17 with 44-mile-an-hour gusts.
No, don't even. You can't carry your airplane out of it. It'll break it just carrying it.
Yeah, you're right. That's too much wind.
That
But you don't need to put any fuel in your tank. You just throw the airplane in the wind
somebody have
fly.
to chunk it really hard and keep the lines tight because you got loose lines. It would hit the end of the lines and break them.
Oh
The
yeah,
wind-
yeah.
Wind
Yeah.
fly.
Man,
Yeah, it's
42.
Howard.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
been
like a
windy
real
here in
good time
St.
to be an
Louis.
indoor free flight flyer.
Tomorrow, St. Louis. Yeah, tomorrow, St. Louis is mean. 11
Yeah.
to 23 all day. Knots.
Mhm.
Sunday, 11, 22, 25,
Hmm.
26 Sunday,
All week is bad.
21, 22, 20 on Monday. Tuesdays, nope, 9 to 16. You boys better learn to do indoor, looks like to me.
Yeah.
It won't clear up till July.
Man, that's terrible.
March is going out like a line. It ain't gonna give up on us.
That's right.
Get-
That's what's happening.
Get your kite out.
You get 2 good days to practice.
Hey, I
before the
did
next.
I did that the other day, Gary. My
You're right,
grandson
John.
has had a biplane kite downstairs for years. It's been
Oh,
downstairs in my way for years. So the other day, my wife got me these spools. Some of the guys bought these spools a few years ago and took the string off of it and wound their wires up on it. So my wife got me 3 or 4 of them, but she got me one that's bigger than the others. I left the string on it and put the string off one of the others on it. Put it on this biplane kite. We got that Dickens way, way up yonder.
Cool.
And then we had to start winding it in. That took a while. I was
Hmm.
tired time I got it down. I was ready to quit.
So how
We got
far
that
is
thing
yonder,
back.
Phil?
Do what?
How far is yonder?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a fur piece.
Yonder's
It's a
a
fur
quarter
piece.
mile to me at least.
Yeah. Hey,
Quarter
I'm
mile,
getting
John.
old. I'm getting old, Sparky. A fur
Yonder,
piece is not
any
near as far as
distance
it
is
used to
too
be.
far for a lazy me to walk.
Yeah, it's farther than it used to be. I'll guarantee, not as far as it used to be. I'll
Yeah.
guarantee you that.
I figured it out today. We all like flying, right?
Uh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can put on my channel 24 hours of bird watching and get 5,000 views an hour. Am I lying, Steve?
No, I saw it. Just
Good
somebody's
gracious
got a
alive.
camera out their window to their
Bird feeder.
bird feeder,
Oh my gosh.
and it just runs. And they got
I remember a
5,000.
few years ago. Somebody did that. Put a 24-hour camera on baby eagles. There were eggs.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, they still do that.
And I couldn't figure out how the devil did you get the camera up there? And it was a GoPro camera with a big battery below it in a box, and they put it up there with one of those drones and set it up there, and then flew away and come back once a week and grab the thing up, change the batteries, and put it back.
They're
Now,
lucky
if
that
you
Mama.
look on YouTube for the world's longest light bulb, there's a firehouse that has a camera on a light bulb, and
Oh
it's been
God.
going for like 15 years or some stupid shit.
Well, they had one at the ARRL headquarters in back east, and it was the original one from the first batch that Edison made. It's still burning.
Right. Let's see. Let me find it here. We're looking for longest burning light bulb.
You remember anybody ever watched the Golden Girls?
Oh
Yeah.
Betty White was watching these two bulbs to see which one burned out first, and she looked away and they both quit. Oh Lord.
The internet said yonder is within sight.
Oh, there you go.
Within sight. Oh.
Within
Oh
sight.
Lord.
Okay, here's the video. Let's see. Is this alive? It's a 120-year-old light bulb, still works.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, but they got a video of it on it. You know, it's just running continuously.
And how many viewers do they have?
I don't know. I'm gonna look here.
One.
Fixed to be 7.
More than us.
Let's see. Live. This is only a 2-minute video. I've seen it. It's weird.
Hey, Mark Gerber slid in too.
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
Mr. Gerber, sir, how are you?
Good, good. How's everybody else?
Y'all
Doing great,
recovered
Mark.
from VSC?
Not quite, almost.
I think Joe's recovered.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my better question is, how is Mr. Trossel doing? I hadn't seen him lately, so we have to get you to tell us how he's doing. How is he?
Good, as far as I know. I haven't seen him since VOC, but he was doing fine down there.
He had a
Well,
good
doing
time, BSC. He did well.
That's
we
good.
did.
He was
That's
flying?
good.
Oh,
Mhm.
good.
He
Oh,
did.
yeah, he won 5th in all time. And he got the Spirit of 52 award for his,
Madman.
whatever it
wasn't
was.
Madman?
Yeah, the Madman, the Diva
nice.
team.
The small one or the big one?
Big one.
Big one. What motor do you have in it? You remember?
It's a green one. Orwick, I think. Does that sound right?
Or
That's right.
64? Yeah, that's probably
I
right.
can't remember exactly what it was, but it's a very loud one. The loudest motor I know of.
Yeah,
Hey, Gary
yeah.
Mike.
and Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Mike
getting
Howard.
quite a crowd here tonight.
And Howard's here.
Hey guys, I was watching on YouTube, Sparky. You talked about that light bulb. You said you thought it was burning 15 years.
No,
I
it's
know about
100
that.
115 years.
124, 1901.
I'm
Wow.
looking right now.
Wow.
1901.
Yep.
You know why they don't build that same bulb? Because it lasts too long, and they
Nope,
wouldn't be able
Nope. If you search for it and look for it, you have to have a match to see whether it's on or not. It's
to.
dim.
Oh, one of those. Yeah,
It's dim.
it'll last a long time at that rate.
Looks to be like about a 10-watt bulb the size of a 150-watt bulb.
Oh, yeah, if it's that old.
But it
Well,
is
you know,
working.
the old bulbs
Mine-
were like this. They were huge and about a foot tall.
My understanding that was one of Edison's first batch of light bulbs.
Wow.
It is hanging in the firehouse and it is on and they do have a camera on it, but it used to be live. Not, I can't find a live viewing of it right now, but you can find the video of it burning.
Yeah.
How many views on the video though?
25, 30,000.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, excuse me. Good gracious.
I'll bet the bird video did better than that though, because it had 5,000 an hour.
Hmm.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
The
They
dog,
had one a few.
the
We had one a
dog
few
taking a
years.
dump on a paper will get 10,000 views.
They had one a few years ago that was somebody had literally put a camera in a chicken coop. And it wasn't a very big chicken coop. Might have had 24 chickens in it. I don't think it had that many. And it was getting unreal amount of views. You could see the chicken lay the egg.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
Joe, does
Some people will watch anything.
Does Pulsa still have the camera on the field?
No, we can't afford to fix it. Bob Reese, see, Bob was brilliant. When he did all that, when you go to a ride and they take your picture, and it's your mouth hanging open on a roller coaster ride. Bob almost invented that stuff. He back 40 years ago took computers and would sell those systems. So he built some in him. He'd go reinstall them and take the cameras, and he wrote his program and put a camera up. Well, when Bob died, there ain't none of us can run that program.
Okay, I used to watch that camera, man.
There's some of them like to put it back, and now they're talking about buying a $200 camera that you can log into it. 4 people at a time can look at it, and it's dude, no. You can't spend $400 on a camera that 4 people can look at it.
All you need is one of these cameras like I'm running here, a Logitech.
That's right.
Put it on a pole and shoot it out there.
That's right. Put it on a program somewhere. I don't know. None of us at Tulsa know how to do that.
We got one.
No, it's not that hard to do, but just make sure you got somebody assigned to go by and clean the globe once a week. Otherwise,
dude, the youngest one we got 65. There ain't nobody gonna climb a ladder and clean no globes.
Yeah.
You put a camera inside a globe, and I guarantee you, in a week, a pigeon will find it. And it won't be off to the side. It'll be right in the middle of where you need to view.
That's nature.
We for 30 years, we've lived in this house now 30 plus years, and we've always been so happy about the fact that there's a big goose population in this area, and they fly that way every morning. They fly north every morning from the big lake over to the fields over here, and they go over and feed and whatever all day, and in the evening they fly back, and they fly right over the backyard, right over, unfortunately, the driveway. But we used to park indoors and it never bothered us. Well, now we don't park indoors all the time anymore.
You stand out in the yard looking up with your mouth open?
No, but my red truck, I swear to goodness, I can wash that thing and it won't be 6 hours. It'll have goose poop all over the driver door.
Some birds sing to people, Phil.
Yeah. These don't sing, they poop on you. My wife's little G-Max, C-Max, and my pickup truck are both red, and they both get just slaughtered. We try to keep the Mustangs.
You got any airplane stuff to talk about rather than bird shit?
Really?
Well, we talk about
what
everything.
you working on there, Mike?
We talk about everything.
RC airplane, slow stick.
Oh, always the RC airplane.
I think I'm going to try to get...
I was going to fly my Flash foamy control line plane today, but then the wind never let down. So
yeah,
I'm still waiting to mainnet. It's ready. I got batteries, lines. I just need a good weather day so I can go. I did play with the timer and the battery a little bit today and props. I figured out with a 2200 Thunder Power Pro light at 5 minutes and 30 seconds at 8,400 RPM. I only use 1,400 milliamps of the battery. So I think that's going to be right on 52-foot lines.
So Mike, that's a ground test?
Yeah, that was a ground test. I know it's going to change a little bit when it gets in the air, but
you won't use quite that much in the air.
Be less.
It won't use that much? That's what I'm not sure of.
It's got
Will it use more?
You're just sitting there pulling the ground all the time. When it gets
Will
in
it
the
use
air, it's
more
going to
or
slip
less
some.
doing
It
a
will use
pattern?
less.
One at a
Use
time.
less to do a pattern. Because at some point during the flight, the prop is not pulling; it's just kind of freewheeling. But the ESC keeps it at that same speed anyway. But it's not pulling, so it's not pulling as much current. See, it's
Huh.
just like you got it nosed up and trying to go over the top right now when you're holding it still. It'll get hot. You can get hot with it doing that. It won't get near as hot and use near as much power flying as it does just sitting there static.
Is that a stick with a motor on it, Mike?
Yeah, it's the old slow stick thing, man.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. You see that
They
thing that they got?
some-
They got an 049 there on a stick, and they got it, and it goes around and around and up in the air. And
Oh yeah.
you see that one?
There was one they took a PWO 10 or maybe it was a 20, one or the other, and put a shop rag on it. I'm not kidding. A red shop rag. I wouldn't have wasted the motor, but he started the thing up, just tossed it and watched it fly away. I'm sitting there, $20
Oh,
motor,
they
and he
don't.
just threw it
They
away.
don't fly. They don't fly away,
They
Phil.
don't
I've
fly
done that
away.
100 times with
They
the
go tree high.
049,
Is that all?
049s, 020s.
Yeah.
They don't fly
Those are
away. They
better.
go about 100 feet and then they crash.
Oh, okay.
They'll go up past a tree.
Okay. Well,
About
that's
the size of
interesting.
a
I didn't
tree,
know.
and then they arc over and hit the ground. They don't
Okay.
Well,
fly
there
away.
Yeah, there we are in the audience now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're in college again.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's get the smartest guy in the class in the
Or
picture.
Congress.
then.
Howard, where's Howard? Howard or Mark? That's the two smartest ones.
Yeah, that's the two smartest. There's Howard.
There's Howard.
Howard has
Get them at the-
arrived finally. I mean, he's been here, but he's finally showing up. And there's Mark. Those are the two smart guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Big Mark.
I've got to get get up with, I forgot the guy's name, doggone it. And I know him well. I just having a senior moment here. Try to get some of those vector directors. I'm going to build me a twin Pathfinder and see about putting not a vector director,
Rick Huff.
yeah, Rick Huff. And try to get two of those motor mounts. Put
Build the airplane
2814s on
first.
it.
Build the airplane, then you know you really want it.
Oh, it's sitting downstairs. I already dug it out and found it. I've already found it. It's not something I want. It's something I'm going to build this summer. It took a giant step in front of a couple good airplanes that I really want to build. I fooled around with doing some other stuff so long. I'm not going to get what I wanted to take to Brodak done. So I'm going to just see what I can do. We're just kind of cruising now. I'm just
I
trying to figure out
hope
what
Rick
kind of
has one of those at Triple Tree.
I hope he does. I think he will.
I bet
He's
he
really
does.
coming a long way with those things.
From what
Working
it tells
real-
me that the twin motor moving wasn't as good as like a ringmaster, something on the front. And it makes sense to me when you get the prop moving 3 inches in front of the CG, it's not gonna have a biggest effect as it is if it's 6 or 7 inches in front of the CG. I'm anxious to see
Maybe.
how
I
that
don't know.
works.
I'm nowhere at an Nemesis, so I couldn't tell you. But I will tell you, oh my gosh, I'm having a senior day here. Anyway, one of my buddies has been sending me videos from Charlotte, him and his grandchildren flying.
That's Will Davis.
Will Davis flying a Tudor 2, and that thing looks impressive. It's got it on it. That's embarrassing when you know somebody's long and as well as I know Will Davis and have a brain fart and can't think of his name.
Well, he's got it on a ringmaster, not a Tudor 2.
He's got it on a Tudor 2 too. He's got two of them. Because that's what he took down to Watt's place and had Watt flying it in a chair. And Watt was flying that Tudor 2.
Oh, he
didn't
must
fly a
have
whole
swapped
flight.
it out because he got that from Rick Huff when Rick Huff crashed his airplane, and he put it on one of the ringmasters for the boys. They must have crashed that, and then he swapped it
They
out.
probably did. They
Them
probably
boys is
did.
hard on airplanes, but they have a good time. Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
they're
they're
having a
fun.
good time. That
They
one.
are. I've given them, I think 3 or 4 so far, and I got 2 more for them when I see Will at Joe Knoll. I got 2 more headed their way.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, those boys, you watch. In 5 years, they're gonna be a pain in our butts. You watch.
Well, that one's building his airplane for the Nats this year. He's building
Yeah.
a Ringmaster 576, and Will's making him build that bad boy. It's good.
Yep, that's Connor.
Yeah.
He's the oldest one.
He's oldest, uh-huh.
How old is he?
12 or 13. What do you
I don't.
think?
No, he's not that old. I
You don't think he's that
10.
old?
I think he's 10,
10? Okay.
9 or 10. Yeah, because
I think I've seen him on the YouTube thing.
no, I'm sorry. That's Wesley's the older one. Connor's the younger one.
Yeah.
Wesley is
That
the
sounds
older
right.
one, and he's
That
like
sounds
10,
right.
and Connor is like 7, I think, 6 or 7.
Boy, he's young, but when they get to flying, you talk about getting determined. That boy gets determined.
Did you ever see him send a video? They were outside. They had a swing plane, little old airplane about that big, had some strings on it. I'm not even sure it controlled, made this slung it. And that first little boy's hitting that prop. And he chunked that boy. That airplane, that boy spun and spun and spun, but fell down. He was acting like he was starting to go, and he chunked it, and away it went. Them 2 boys is a barrel of fun right there.
Well, they are at the Nationals. I mean, Nationals at Brodak. They were so cute. They're over helping this little girl learn to fly, and she didn't look like she was as big as they were. And these 2 boys out there helping her. It's just adorable. I couldn't help. I took movies of it. It was cool.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, it is. Will took pictures and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
At Brodax,
Yeah,
they had hit those 2 boys, and Palco's boy was out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the bigger
that
boy
was
was
it.
running the controller, and the littler Will's grandson was helping the boy hold the handle to fly the airplane.
Yeah, that was
It's
it.
like, oh my gosh, look at that. That is
Well, when that
precious.
little blonde-headed girl went out there, that's when it was just adorable.
Oh my goodness.
Because he looked like he was looking at her like, good golly, she's cute, Daddy. Granddad, what am I supposed to do here? You'll figure it out, boy. You'll figure it out.
So that little boy was flying the airplane, and the big one was running the controller from inside the
Yeah.
circle, walking around him. So when he finally landed it, and the big boy tried to get the handle out of the little boy's hand, that little boy said, no, I'm flying. You go get the airplane. I ain't giving you the handle. He wasn't going to give that handle up, mister. He's going to make big brother go get that airplane.
I'm telling you, Will's got a couple flyers there. He's got him a couple little flyers.
They
there.
are
I'm not
fun.
kidding.
Golly.
They are fun. He sends me, I get videos once in a while from him, and I got one night, something about apologizing for bothering me or something. I wrote him back, I don't know who you're talking to, but you ain't bothering me. Send some more.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Just fun stuff. The biggest one's 10. You're right, Lucky. Mike Donovan passed away years ago. And before he died, he told Jones, says, give Joe all my airplanes, tell him to give what he wants away and keep the rest. So I don't know, for 3 or 4 years, we'd go through Mississippi, going to Florida or something. We'd stop, see her, and get 4 or 5 and bring it home. And they see her at El Dorado. And I probably brought, 30 airplanes home. And I had a Tucker Special. It had LA 46 in it and about 6 ounces of lead on the tail of it. So I took all that out of it, put a Brodak 40 in it with a wooden prop and a plastic spinner, took the weight off the tail. And I took it to Brodax and won with it up there, won classic with it, and gave it to Paul Taylor. He's not on here tonight, is he? And Paul flew it for 3 or 4 years. Now I don't know if he got crashed or whatever, but somehow that very airplane ended up in Will's hands.
Oh, from me.
From you, okay.
It went through whoever to Paul Taylor.
To Paul Taylor. I gave it to Paul.
And when I helped Paul Taylor sell the Testarossa that Wendy gave him, Paul, in appreciation for me brokering that deal, because the airplane had to go through here to a guy that was flying into Nashville in his own personal airplane to pick it up. So Paul gave me the airplane because he was living in Florida at the time. Paul, I got the airplane from Paul, stored it here until the guy who bought the Testarossa could come pick it up. And then Paul, when he came back up to Nashville, he gave Sam a bi-slob, that Tucker Special,
Yes.
and one other airplane. I cannot remember what it is. And we flew the Tucker for a little while, and then I took it to Huntersville and gave it to Will Davis. And Will Davis is currently in possession of that Tucker.
And Will had his grandson fly that very airplane at Rodax in one beginner or
I did
one
not-
kid
I didn't
event
know
or whatever that was.
I
Whatever
didn't
that
know
little
that.
8 or 9-year-old boy flew, he won with it in that event.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
So yeah, that thing made the rounds, man. That was in everybody's
That
hand.
Mike is singing the joys in heaven today because of that. I guarantee you. He loved them airplanes.
Did you see Fred Sescom's Super Ringmaster? Any pictures of it posted on the forum?
No. I
Red and
haven't.
white, beautiful, beautiful job he did on it. I've got to build me one of those. I built one in 1963, and I moved the landing gear to the wing, and it
Yeah.
looks so cool, you know. And I had one before that with the landing gear in a regular place. Heck, that's what I learned part of the pattern on. I mean, yeah, there's better planes, but that was just a cool airplane.
Sometimes you build something because you want to. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yep.
Yeah. I think it was Bill Little had one of those, first one I ever saw that had been customized. And he had the gear in the wing and had wheel pants on it. Looked like they belonged on a Cobra. And I mean, that thing was cool. It was just fun to watch.
Back in the day,
Bill
there was a
Little,
lot of
anyway.
people.
Bill Little, I mean, the name implies that he's a little guy. Bill Little was twice my size and had these great big hands. He'd come out here and he'd grab this little, I think it was a Red Hat 35, put the battery on that thing. And back in those days, we had a battery over here and a long cord that went to the glow plug. And he put that thing up there and wham yeah, wham yeah, wham yeah. And then he'd put his hand in there too far and knocked the doggone wire off the battery, off the glow plug, put it back, and he was slamming it again. So, Bill, you might want to prime it. He'd prime that fool thing and prop it again and get that thing running. That was a big man, but man, he had a smile from ear to ear when that thing would start.
He was
Well,
about
nobody I've ever
6'5" or 6'7", 350 pounds.
Yeah. He was a
Wow.
big boy. He was a
Huge.
very big boy. But he was a fun-loving, gentle giant. Just a gentle giant. I went down and spent the weekend with him, built my USA one in his basement on his pool table. And we just had a ball. And ate pizza. Lord, they kept putting pizza in front of me. And my God, Bill, I've already had 6 pieces. I don't eat this much. I'll eat some more. Eat some more.
Good friend of mine from Georgia gave me that. North Georgia, what?
Sky Rebels.
Sky Rebels.
I have one of those too.
Isn't that
I
nice?
have one of those too. Yeah, Tom Dixon gave it to me.
Doug Patterson gave me this one,
Yeah,
and I like it.
yeah. Those are good people down there. There's a lot of good.
Did you get any
people down there.
progress on anything, Mark, to show us? Any cool pictures?
Well, a few things.
Can we look at them? Anybody else
Well,
care?
let's see them.
Well, okay.
Yeah, twist his arm. Smile, Gary. You're on big screen.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, you popped in just as I spotlighted. Allow. There we go. Multiple.
Sparky, you're spotlighted. There you go.
Oh my goodness
Oh,
gracious!
look at that.
Great balls of fire.
Well, this is nothing new. This is the Bearcat as it existed back about mid-January.
It's ready to fly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it
Looks
would, except
good.
the oil would soak into the balsa wood pretty badly. But so I set it aside
It
to
did.
work on my T-bird, and little thing I was building for VSC.
Man,
and
that sucker looks nice. Holy mackerel.
So I got
It
it.
does look good.
I got it down off the rafters today and I put it back in the jig. It took the control surfaces off, so now it's ready to. I got to do some more sanding and filling of little things, but I'm just about ready to start putting the resin on it. Here's the. This is what I used on the last one. I'm going to use it on this one too. So
Finishing resin. Yep.
So how do you
anyway,
put that on, Mark?
I've got a bunch of cheap. I think they're, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch wide brushes, and I mix it up. And I use one of those brushes and brush it on. I'll do one wing at a time.
The foam brushes?
No, they're fiber, but
just
they're really cheap. I
regular-
got them on eBay for
Okay, but they're
50 cents
regular
a piece or
brushes.
something.
Okay, that's not,
And I
not,
just
not the
pitch
foam.
it. I just pitch it after I'm done.
Yeah,
Then you
And
take
then
a
I-
credit card and you swipe it all off, and then you paper
Yeah.
towel,
supposed to. You're
top
saying
it all
you're
up.
making some.
Yeah, I take the
Mark?
heat gun, just like
Go
Joe
ahead.
Daly describes in his article. And once you put the heat gun on, it gets really runny like water. You got to
yeah.
really careful that you don't get it somewhere you don't want it. Because
So-
once
Yeah.
it cures, it's cured.
Do you hit it with the heat gun on the plane or
Yeah.
before?
First you brush it on,
Okay,
and then, you don't want to get too much on, but you want to have plenty on so you get everything covered. And then you take the heat gun and, go back and forth over the area that you brushed. And it'll make that stuff just like water. And as you're going with the heat gun, in one hand, I've got the paper towel in the other hand. I wear rubber gloves because you get this stuff all over your hands if you
Yeah,
don't.
don't forget the rubber gloves or you'll wish you hadn't.
And wipe it off. And then after it cures, it's rough. And then you take some coarse sandpaper and you knock it down. And you do that 3 times. Is
How
Joe's
coarse?
formula. I don't remember what I used, to be honest. I think it might have been like
320.
No, it was
80?
coarser than that.
180?
Yeah, it probably was like 180. I mean, you don't want to sand too aggressively, or you get back down through the resin, and then you've messed up your nice finishing shell. But after you get 3
Can I-
coats on it, then it gets pretty shiny, and you got a good base to start from. And then I take the Class Coat epoxy primer
Mhm.
and spray that over everything. And I put on that several times, and then I sand it down, and I put it back on and sand it down some more. And then, after like 2 or 3 times with the primer, you get a really nice, pretty smooth base for your finish. You can start going to color. If you're really a glutton for punishment, you can spray silver on it and then work on it some more to fill in the dings and dangs. But
And that's all class coat
yep,
primer, class coat primer.
yeah,
Glass
that goes.
coat
You have to
primer,
prime
then-
on top of the finishing resin. You can't apply finish directly to it.
What
Yeah,
color
no.
is that?
It's gray.
Gray?
And I even used a little bit of automotive primer at that point to fill in a few rough spots and things. So anyway, that's going to be my life here for the next month or so.
Yeah, I bet.
But
Mark, you like experimenting, don't you?
no.
Well,
Yeah.
give you something to experiment with. If you want to cut down the weight a little bit on your finish, doing it this way. Get you 2 pieces of balsa the same size and try to get the same grain pattern and all so that it is a fair test. And weigh them both. Then take one and do it just like you're talking about. Just zap right over it, paint it on there, then wipe it off, heat it and wipe it off with a paper towel, get everything you can get off of it. And do that 3 times and weigh it again. And then do the same thing to the other one. But before you do that, before you do it, get some cheap like vinyl, like Final Net, just cheap hairspray. Make sure it's lacquer based hairspray, and spray the balsa. Let that dry for 20 minutes or so, and then put the epoxy on. And what you'll find, the epoxy stays on the surface and don't sink in near as much.
Aqua velvet.
Your finish is not as hard, but it's on the surface. It's not sunk down into the balsa. And what you end up with, it's much lighter. I've got the BBQB. It's a whole lot bigger. And I did the test to do it, and that's the way it's finished. It's got a coat of hairspray on it, and then Z-Epoxy. I think I went 2 coats. May have gone 3. I can't remember. I think it was 3 coats before it was really good and shiny. But I ended up sanding the last coat with like 400, and then putting primer on top of that. And I sanded the first coat too much, I guess, and about went through it in a couple of places. So I had to put a second coat of primer on and got that down. And I've got 1 coat of blue on it, but I've got to go back, put another coat of blue on it, and then put the white letters and then the ink lines and all that stuff on it. So it's going to be a while before it's finished too. But it's built for a 72 4-stroke. But you will save, you'll be amazed how much weight you'll save by putting hairspray on it first. But you got to use the cheap stuff, and it's got to be lacquer based. If you use that other stuff, all bets are off.
Hey, Phil, do yourself a favor when painting your numbers and letters and stuff. You're going to have a navy blue plane. Figure out where the letters and numbers are going. Paint it white, and then stick the letters on it, and then paint it blue, and then peel the letters off. Because you do it the other way, you'll have a ton of paint on the white letters.
You ain't lying. You're right. And you can get you get those letters from a girl in Albuquerque.
I get those letters right in the next room.
Well, you got a vinyl cutter. I don't. I've actually got a vinyl cutter now. Come to think of it, I got one of those.
There's a local sign shop here in Fort Collins that I've been using, and they do a great job. I just send them the file PDF, and for $40, I get back a whole sheet of stars and bars and navy and numbers.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
So,
thing about the girl in Albuquerque, she sends you little friskets that you can take a big piece of paper and cut a little hole in and put the frisket right there and tape it in, and then lay that where it's supposed to be and spray ink or whatever across it. You can use paint. I just usually use ink. Spray that across there and put fuel for fuel doors and emergency exit and pull here, all that kind of stuff. Al Raby did that in his tape he made. So I do it to mine. I'm gonna do it to mine.
Yeah, the sign shop doesn't like to do stuff that's smaller than about a quarter of an inch.
Can you stop sharing? I want to end the program.
Okay.
That's pretty cool though, Mark. Pretty good idea as usual. Always learn something when you start talking.
All right,
You're
everybody.
End YouTube?
Yes. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Our 2 hours is up. If you're a member on Stunt Hangar, you can go over to At the Bench, and they have an after party. You can stay and monkey around. Let me see here. We got to get back to this. Oh, shoot. And I always do this. My videos. It loses the content live. It loses the place for me to shut it off. Okay. All righty. Like, subscribe, and share. We had 24 viewers right now. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you Monday. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya. All right, we're off.